What's up, y'all? It's your boy, J.R. Arthur, aka the Pixel Monkey. And what I want to talk to you about is something that my clients probably aren't going to like, or your clients probably aren't going to like. And that's clients aren't always right. Clients don't always know what they're talking about. So just in case you don't know what I'm saying is you, the client, are not always right.
All right. You're gonna learn today.
Well, let's get into it real quick. The reason why I'm saying that clients aren't always right is because clients come to you with a certain idea in a certain way that they want stuff, and they don't often want to budge on what they want. And it doesn't always meet the budget. It doesn't always meet what's necessary for the job. And so as the artist, as the creative, we have to tell them that either that doesn't make sense, you can't afford it, or we're going to have to up the cost or something like that. There's something that just doesn't line up. And I'm not saying that every client is not right, but there's a lot of cases where the client doesn't know what they're talking about and they want to tell us what we do. Well, let me tell you, if you are a client right now watching this, I just want you to understand something. You came to us because of what we do. You came to us because you thought that we were good enough. Or you came to us because you thought that that designer, creative, or whatever they are is cheaper than what the other competition is. Well, let me tell you, one of the mistakes that you're making is don't let low costs allow you to pick who you're going to use.
All right. You're gonna learn today.
The lower the price doesn't always mean that it's worth it. Sometimes, as designers, our prices actually qualify the work. Or you know what? Let me not even say that. It's not that sometimes our prices qualify the work. It's that we price the work according to how much we're going to do for you, not based on trying to get the job from you. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're a big studio or a big company or some big giant in the market. We still have to do the same amount of work, no matter what your size is, if the job calls for it. So if we underprice it, that means we're out, not you. So if we're telling you that something needs to be done, you have to kind of trust us sometimes. Trust that we know what we're doing. And the only way you can trust us is by seeing the work. You've looked at the work that we've done prior to this particular job that you wanted us to do. Basically, you looked over our resume, our body of work, our portfolio, to see if we qualify to do the work. So trust when we're coming to you that what we're telling you is right. Now, I will tell you, there's another way that clients can end up wrong in what they're doing or saying. It's that oftentimes you have an order of things in companies. And so the person that's asking you to do the work is not necessarily the owner of the business. It's not the person who writes the checks. It's a manager or some kind of boss within the company that has to prove to the next person up that they can get the job done and get it done right. So they try to give you input into what you do. And oftentimes they don't do what you do. Oftentimes, if you were to walk away, they couldn't just finish the job. It is very rare that a client comes to you because they can do the work. And on top of that, if they wanted it done the way they were going to do it, why didn't they just do it? Well, let me tell you why. They didn't do it that way because they wanted your stamp. They wanted a different creative perspective on what their idea was. So allow us to do what we do. And I've had moments where I've had to go back and forth with clients because they felt that they knew better than me, the designer.
All right. You're gonna learn today.
And what I'm saying to you as creatives is listen to what your client is saying, because sometimes they will come to you with very valid points because they're looking at it from their demographics point of view, not from necessarily just the creative point of view. So some of the stuff they say may be valid, but you have to be able to take that information and make it a creative body of work. That part is your job and your job alone. So one, don't back down from the client if you feel like what you're doing is right. Two, don't be afraid to walk away from a job. And yes, we do need money for different things. You want to make a name for yourself. You want to be able to support yourself. I get it. And I'm older in the profession now, so I see it a little bit different because I was one of those people that would take any job at any price point and didn't realize that not only was I hurting myself, I'm hurting my fellow creatives because it's like resetting the market because you're lowering everybody's price. So be willing to walk away from a job if it doesn't fit. Be willing to walk away from the job if you're not going to get what you think you should get or what you deserve. The client can't dictate that for you. They can tell you what they're willing to pay, but if it doesn't line up, don't take it. And these are more reasons why the client is not always right. They don't do what you do. And this is the thing too. Clients can't always tell you what a project is worth or what the project value is just because they have a certain budget that they want to stick to. You know how much time needs to be put into a job, but you also need to be able to articulate that to your client. Communication is key. If they can't understand why things are the way they are, then in theory, you're making the client right. It's one of those instances where you have to kind of prove the client wrong to show why things are the way they are. Sometimes they just don't see it. Sometimes they feel like things are just super expensive. And creatives, you know this. We are not cheap. What we do is not cheap. You don't naturally just go to a store and say, oh, I want to pay the highest price on everything. You look for sales. You look for deals. You look for what's going to give you the best quality for the money. So our clients are doing the same thing. So I'm not saying that the clients are wrong and I fault them for it. What I'm saying is they're not always right. And that's one of those things that our society, or I don't know where that started from, in all honesty, the client is always right. No, the heck, they are not. The client is not always right. Just because you're paying for something doesn't make you right.
All right. You're gonna learn today.
There's a lot of things that get done the wrong way just because somebody was willing to pay more. But that's also a choice on your client too. Like your client has to decide, do I want it done the way that the creative is telling me, or do I want it done my way? And then at the end of the day, put something in your contract that says, I'm going to present to you the best way to do the job. And if you don't accept it, I'm not liable for the outcome. Even though I'm saying the client is not always right, there are still many times where you're going to do the job regardless. Because at the end of the day, the work that we see as being great is usually not the work that gets put out. There's usually going to be a million changes. There's usually going to be a whole bunch of back and forth between different members of companies before it gets to its final output piece. So it's usually not the part that you thought was the masterpiece. It's usually a very dumbed down version of it. And as creatives, we learn to be okay with that because it's not ours per se. Now, don't get me wrong. If it's something for your portfolio and your portfolio alone, and it's just your body of work, do it the way that you think it should be done. But when it's for the client, right or wrong, they will typically get what they're asking for if they're paying for it. It just doesn't make what they were saying the right choice. So please, 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 please speak up, communicate, articulate the ideas to your clients and let them know what you're asking me, what you're telling me, or what you're saying to me may be what you want, but I can guide you into a better way of doing it. And then it's up to them to take it. But they have to live with the results. So with that being said, as I said in the start, the client is not always right. But please know the client will often get what they want, which is a finished product. So what I'm asking you to do at this point is like this video, subscribe to this channel, and the channel name is Creatively Speaking. Find other people that might benefit from these videos and send the link to them so they can watch. I look forward to doing this with you, and I look forward to sharing the things that I've been through creatively. Until next time, holla at you.